back of WhatsApp's mega IPO in the States, now in China, more talk of IPOs for big companies. And now Weibo, it's a Twitter-like blog in China, very popular. But would it make good value for investors?
Well, the idea of a Weibo IPO is really driven by two things. One is red-hot valuations in the tech sector, as seen in the $19 billion takeover of WhatsApp by Facebook. The other thing is just clever investment banker thinking. Investment bankers love to tell investors that if you put one and one together, they make three, and that's exactly what's happening here. The idea is that if you take Weibo out of its parent company, Sina, in which you can already buy shares, and list it separately, it should be worth more than it is today. We'd be slightly suspicious of that kind of logic.
So clearly the investment bankers are working hard, but if you're an investor, is there any way to take apart the valuation of this thing?
Well, you can have a broad attempt. I mean, if we look at Weibo's, as Sina's earnings that came out last night, you can basically extrapolate that Weibo might make around $600 million of revenue next year if it keeps growing at its current pace. So if you really roughly apply a 30% margin to that and put it on like a 30% multiple, which is about the sector average, you can come to somewhere just north of $5 billion. And Sina owns about 70% of that. So that would account for most of Sina's value today. But this depends on lots of things. Can Weibo make money? Will people keep using it? And will advertisers keep spending money on Weibo's platforms? None of this is certain.
A lot of questions there, and obviously we know Weibo is popular, but how much money is it exactly making? Can we say this is something that investors should really proceed with high caution?
I think they should, because Weibo is competing with all kinds of other products which are making demands on advertisers' cash, from WeChat, which is a hot chat app owned by Tencent, to Alibaba, which owns a stake in Weibo. Alibaba, after all, is the monopoly online commerce platform, so it's in a really good position to squeeze revenue out of companies. Weibo might not be. It's much more discretionary. It's much more sensitive to consumer whims. So I would be a little bit wary of attributing too high value and believing that clever investment bank logic.
A Sina Weibo IPO perhaps, but proceed with extreme caution when looking at valuations.